Okay, so next, what we're going to do is we're going to sign into our new admin account. So you should have your admin account stuff saved somewhere. You go here, here. You're going to enter your password that is saved hopefully in your password manager. And you're going to get this message. So now what's happening is it's requiring us to set up MFA. MFA is multi-factor authentication. So you can use the Authenticator app, or we can use a different app. Let's click use a different app just to see what happens. So you go in your app, add new account, and then it should give you a QR code. For the sake of this, we're going to use the Authenticator app. So you can download this from your App Store or your Play Store, depending on if you're on Apple or Android. So you're going to go ahead and click Next, set up your account, and in your Authenticator app, we'll actually go through it. You're going to open it. And you're going to click the plus button. And you're going to add work or school account. And you're going to click scan QR code, or you can choose to sign in. You're going to click next. And then here is where you're going to scan your code. And then your account should pop up in your Authenticator app. You'll see it right there. Next, you're going to click next. When you click next, it's going to prompt you to put in a number to confirm it. Once you do that, and you're good. Now you can just go ahead and click done. Now it's also going to prompt you to change your password because that password was a temporary one that we gave it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and copy this over. Now we're going to edit our password in our password manager, if you got one, and click create new password. We're going to click use, and we're going to add that one in. Then you're going to go ahead and click sign in. And now we are logged in. It's going to give you this because it's a new account. You can either click get started or X or cancel. We don't need that. We also don't need this page right this second, so we're going to go ahead and maximize this. All right. So now what we want to do is, well, let's see what we can do first. Okay. So let's not forget, we don't have global admin on this account and our roles aren't active yet. So let's go look at Entra. Let's go Entra.microsoft.com. You're going to go in here. Let's see if we can look at users. Okay, we can see our users. Let's go look at our user, see if we have anything assigned to us. Assigned roles. No, no roles. Okay, how about we go to protection and look at authentication methods. Oh, we don't have access to this. Well, what we need to do is we need to activate our PIM role. So now if you activate it, if you so now if you completed the task at the end of the last video, you should have the authentication administrator role. So to activate that, we're going to go here and we're going to go to my roles and you'll see all your roles right here. We're going to go ahead and activate authentication administrator and you're going to put authentication lab. Now this can be whatever you want it to be. This is what I put. You can also control how long you want this role to be active. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it for 1 hour. We're going to activate. So now what most people do with PIM is at the beginning of their shift, they will activate their role and it'll last for 8 hours, which is your normal shift, and you're good to go. So you can do that if you want to. When you start your lab, go in, activate all your roles, and then you'll be able to do everything without having to come back here if you want. So we can look at our active assignments and we see we have authentication administrator. So now let's go back. We're going to go protection and look at authentication methods. We still don't have access. I wonder why. That's an authentication admin, right? So let's go back to our owner account. And then let's go look at these roles. We're going to go back up here. And we're going to look at authentication policy administrator. Let's see, you can configure the authentication methods. So let's make sure we put the right one. We're going to go back to our user. And we're going to look at our account. Look at our assigned roles. Authentication administrator. It's there. Authentication policy administrator. And that's where the issue is. We did authentication administrator, which does not have the ability to look at the roles. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go here, add assignments, and do authentication policy administrator. This is why you want to make sure that you always double check the roles that you're assigning. So we're assigning this now. And it's done. So now let's go back here. Let's look at our eligible roles again. We'll refresh. And there it is, authentication policy administrator. So let's go back to our PIM portal. Go to my roles. And we're going to activate authentication policy administrator. And we're going to go ahead and activate that. That'll take a second. And now it's active. So now let's wait for that to load. Show more, go to protection, and go to authentication methods. And you can actually star this so it's in your favor. What I would suggest you do is you star authentication methods, multi-factor authentication, conditional access, password reset. These are areas we may look in later. We're going to go on authentication methods. And here you can see your policies that are enabled. So these are all the different MFA policies that can be used. You can use a passkey, which is a FIDO key. It's an actual physical hardware USB that you use to authenticate. This is really good to have for your break glass account because that way you're not dependent on your phone or an email or anything like that. All right? You have a temporary access pass. This can be used if someone is locked out, they lost their phone, and they just have to get in. You can create a temporary access pass and you can send it to them so they can get in. You can use a hardware token. This is in preview. We're not going to worry about that. Thirdware software OAuth tokens. You can use that as well, but we're not going to worry about today. You can use a voice call, but we're not going to go ahead and do that. That's not a lot of people use it. You can also use email. Now, a lot of people don't like to use email. I typically disable it. We're going to leave it enabled for now. That may change later. And then certificate based authentication. That is when you're putting a certificate on your system, and that way you can auth through that. But we're not going to use that right now. Okay. Here we have authentication strengths, and you see that we have passwordless MFA. This may be something you want to look into later. Hint, hint. Right? But now we've set up our authentication methods. Let's go ahead and look at conditional access policies if we can. We're going to go to conditional access. Once again, we can't. So what we're going to do is we are going to go back to our PEM portal, go to roles, and we are going to activate our conditional access administrator role. And we're going to go ahead and activate that. Now we've activated that. Let's go see if we can get in there now. There we go. Now we can see our conditional access policies. So let's go take a look. We're going to look at policies. And here, we already have a policy created. Let's see what it does. All users, identity, all apps, all platforms, MFA. This is an MFA policy. This enforces multi-factor authentication. Let's turn this off. Okay. So now that is the policy that we want. So we're going to go ahead and recreate it. I'm going to show you guys how to create that policy. So we're going to do, you can create it from nothing, from scratch, but we're going to do create new policy from template. And these are templates that Microsoft recommends that most companies use all the time. There's a lot of different ones. But what we're going to use today is require multi-factor authentication for all users. Or no, what we're going to do today is we're going to require multi-factor authentication for admins. So let's go review and create. Now let's take a look at naming standards, shall we? Something that is very important is naming standards. This allows you to make sure that you're keeping up with your policies or your groups or whatever you want to use so things don't look messy and all over the place. This is Microsoft's naming standard. Your number, the persona, which is who does it affect? Is it admins? Is it everybody? What is it? Your policy type, is it a data protection, app protection, identity protection, and so on. This is what we're going to use for our policy. So numbering schemes. So if your access policy is going to look at admins, this is what you want to use here. Now, again, you don't have to follow this. Usually your company will already have a standard. So follow that, but this is what we're going to follow for this. All right, and then we have our policy types. Make sure to go over this document. This will help you a lot. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to create CA100. go, the persona is going to be admin. Policy type is going to be identity protection. And you can choose which one of these you want to have. You don't have to use all of them. And for now, we're just going to do all apps. All right. For now, we're going to put the policy in report only. What that means is it's not on, but it is collecting the data. This shows who's excluded. The policy will always exclude the current user, so the person who sets it up. This is so just in case you get locked out or the policy isn't set up correctly, you don't lock yourself out. You can get in and make that change. This includes all these roles. So anyone with these roles will have to enroll in MFA. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and click create. So now we've gone ahead and we've created our policy. What that policy does is it is now enforced MFA. All right, and that's it. So now any admin who tries to set up or log in to your Azure tenant or Microsoft Entra or any M365 product connected to this tenant will have to set up MFA, and we've already looked at our MFA factors. Right? That's all we got for this. Let's keep things moving.